All right, welcome to my 2019 New Year's goals video. Before we jump into all my goals for this year, I want to review everything that happened last year, what my goals were, how I did. If you're not interested in that and just want to skip ahead to see what I'm going to do this year, skip to here. Otherwise, let's get going. So last year I made some clay figures to represent each one of my 18 goals for the year. I thought that would be a good way to keep my goals visualized and to be really committed to each goal. The only issue was that I wasn't able to keep those in sight for most of the year, so they weren't on my mind as frequently as I hoped they'd be, but I thought it was still a good way to do it. So for this review, I've split up those 18 goals into 3 categories. Number 1, goals that I completely finished. Number 2, goals that I did fairly well at but not 100%. And number 3, goals that I really didn't do at all. So let's start with the goals that I completely finished. First up was visit 35 new temples. This goal was blown completely out of the water. About a quarter of the way into the year, Emma and I decided this would be a big focus for us, and we actually exceeded that goal by 21 and went to 56 new temples this year. Next is participate in a service activity monthly. This is another goal that I'm happy I was able to do. Some of the activities range from helping out at a food pantry, shoveling snow, teaching English, and a few other things. It's definitely a mindset I want to keep going forward, and I totally recommend it. Next was visit a new country, and this is another one that I far surpassed. This year, for the first time, I went to Canada twice, Taiwan, the Philippines, Korea, Japan, plus I went to a handful of new states, including Hawaii, and I spent a lot of time in Mexico City, Hong Kong, and other places in Mexico. Travel definitely became a theme of 2018, and I accomplished most of my travel-related goals. The next goal that I felt really good about was to play no video games. I ended up playing video games 6 times this year. I actually kept track of each time that I did, but it was much less than the time before, and just having a focus to make sure that I didn't want to waste any time doing something like that was really good for me. Next up was write in my journal daily. Now, although I didn't physically write in my journal every day, I wrote at least a page about every single day. So sometimes I'd get a day or 2, 3 behind, but I'd make sure to go back and write a full page at least about every day. Another accomplished goal was to try 5 new foods, and I'm sure that I tried well over 30 new foods this year. This goal was an effort to get me out of my comfort zone, which I found out was not much of a problem when it comes to food for me. I tried squid, grasshoppers, chicken feet, new types of seafood, and a variety of things that aren't that strange but were actually really tasty. Okay, next up is the goals that I did okay at. In 2018, I had the goal of reading 52 books again. I ended up getting to 30. And although that's not 52 books, it is still more than 2 books a month. The year before, in 2017, I only got to 21. And the year before that, when I didn't have a reading goal, I'm not sure that I read more than 5 books. So although I haven't quite made it to what I'm reaching for, definitely happy with the improvement, and I think I can call myself a reader now, which makes me happy. Another goal was to write a weekly thank you note. I didn't keep track of this one perfectly, but I think I wrote somewhere between 25 and 30 thank you notes this year. Overall, I think my goal was accomplished though. I was more aware of when I could thank somebody for something, and I showed more gratitude in general. One goal I had last year was to complete a first-year Mandarin's book. Now, I completely failed at that goal, but I ended up switching what that goal was for me. I changed from wanting to learn Chinese to wanting to better learn Spanish. I was able to practice quite a bit while living in Mexico, and I'm over halfway done with the Spanish version of Rosetta Stone. This year I have another language goal, which I will talk to you about shortly. Next was to create and accomplish a monthly health goal. In general, I was fairly healthy throughout the year, but I failed at keeping track of what my health goals were. I did, however, start swimming more, which is something I've never really done. Did a push-up challenge where I tried to do 100 push-ups a day for 30 days. and I did 2 long fasts throughout the year, one 3-day and one 4-day, both which were very beneficial to my health. The next goal that I completed 50% was to go to 10 new national parks. We ended up going to 5: Acadia, Olympic, Rainier, Lassen Volcanic, and Yosemite. These were awesome experiences, and I hope to go to a handful of new national parks this year. Eventually, I'll get to all of them. Next was to talk to a stranger weekly. This was another one that I didn't keep track of perfectly, but I'm pretty sure I got really close. My goal here was to just be more outgoing, social, try to meet new people, work on my communication skills, things like that. I did end up creating new friendships with other teachers in China and some new friends in Mexico. Definitely a memorable experience. All right, let's talk about the goals that I flunked at. First was to start a master's program. Now this goal isn't out the window. I am starting it this year instead, but we did decide to defer so that we could focus a little more on other goals that we had. So no regrets there really, just a different timetable. Next up was to read a dictionary. I still think this is a fun goal, but really my overall goal there was to learn new vocabulary and just kind of be able to say that I read a dictionary, which is a little funny. I only got through the A's when I realized I'd have to read over 3 pages of the dictionary a day, which really just wasn't productive for me and not that fun. Someday, I'm sure that I'll get through a whole dictionary, but it's gonna take a lot longer than 1 year. Another goal I had was to create and use 10 background music tracks. To be honest, I'm not sure if I even did one. A big part of that issue was that we traveled so much this year. When I only expected to be gone for about 4 months, we ended up being gone for about 10. Music is something that will always be very precious to me, and I know that I'll make more music in the future. It just doesn't quite make sense right now. Last year I had the goal to upload 1 YouTube video a week, which, to be fair, I thought was a much better goal than to vlog daily, which was the previous year's goal. But this year I made a transition in my thoughts on YouTube. I thought YouTube might be something that I want to do full time. I really loved creating videos in the beginning that were totally free form and original, and I tried to mix that this year with something that was a better edit but still wanted to produce just as many. My thoughts now are I want to continue to make videos occasionally, but I want them to be more about my life and what I'm doing or what I'm trying to share. And I don't really want my life to be focused around YouTube. I would rather my YouTube videos be focused around my life. So that's what will change this year. I'll have another YouTube goal, but it will be different. The last 2 goals that I didn't accomplish in 2018 are probably my most embarrassing or confusing as to why I didn't accomplish them. They were to learn how to do a backflip and learn how to do a handstand. Neither one would have taken much time to figure out how to do, but I just simply didn't put in the time. In a way, they'll be on my goal list again for 2019, and they won't be forgotten about, which I think is the biggest reason why I just didn't accomplish them this year. My goals definitely won't be forgotten about. All right, so that sums up 2018. Let's jump right into 2019. Before we jump into these goals, I just want to tell you that I'm really excited about 2019. I love setting goals and working hard to accomplish them. This year, a good friend and I are working together to make sure we accomplish our goals. We'll be following up with each other every week to make sure we're staying on track. If you have someone you can do that with, I highly recommend it. If you don't, reach out to me either on social media or just in the chat below, and we'll work something out. I want to make sure that you accomplish your goals too. For this year, I decided to set my goals up a bit differently. I first came up with 6 themes that I want to try to follow, and then I listed goals that fit into those themes. So the 6 themes for me this year are 1, live intentionally, 2, create more than I ever have, 3, learn more than I ever have, 4, be healthier than I've ever been, 5, have fun, and 6, love and give. I wanted to make sure that each one of my goals was connected to a deeper meaning so that I can stay motivated for the entire year. I have my goals listed out, and then to the side, I have what themes they're related to. Some only have one theme attached, and some have up to 4. Apart from having a theme for each goal, I've also done something a little fun that should help me remember my goals the whole year. For each one of my goals I have this year, I made one black bracelet. Each thin bracelet represents that goal. And once I accomplish that goal, then I will take that off my left hand and create a more colorful bracelet to put on my right hand. That way my goals will always be on my mind, and plus I think it'll be a good conversation starter if anyone comments on my bracelets. In 2017 and in 2018, I think I set a few too many goals for myself. I kind of just wanted to set 17 and 18 goals because they paired with the year well and kind of sounded fun. As I was making my goals, I made sure to only write down ones that I really wanted to accomplish, that I really thought I could, and not to focus on a number. However, by the time I was finished, I ended up with 18 goals. Only one short of having 19 goals in 2019. So I added one fun goal to the end to get to 19, and I'll tell you about it at the very end. Finally, the fun part. Let's talk about what's gonna turn these guys into these guys. Okay, I'm gonna run through all these goals real fast, and then I'll update you about them throughout the year, as well as on other social media accounts. Number 1, visit 5 new countries. Number 2, pass a Spanish fluency test. Number 3, read 52 books. Number 4, make the University of Manchester basketball team. Number 5, visit my 100th LDS temple with Emma. Number 6, up my videography and photography skills. Number 7, have 0 debt, pay off my student loan. Number 8, create a personal inventory of everything I own. Number 9, create and stick to a morning and evening routine. Number 10, don't use any plastic grocery bags. Number 11, don't use any plastic straws at restaurants. Number 12, write or illustrate a book. Number 13, make 10 new foods and make a better effort to eat intentionally. Number 14, learn 5 new fun skills. So this includes some goals from previous years, like learn how to do a backflip, a headstand, a kickflip. I have a big list of options to pick from. Number 15, take a group on a temple trip. Number 16, create and upload 12 quality YouTube videos. Number 17, write every day. Number 18, sell a product or start a business. And number 19 is get a puppy. All right, that's it. Those are all my goals for 2019. If you see me throughout the year, definitely check out my wrists, see how many wristbands are on this hand versus this hand, and keep me honest. Other than that, I'm gonna go get started on these. I'll catch you in the next one.